All right, so I want to make a video talking about everything that every single electric vehicle should have. And I feel like this should be the standard going forward with every electric vehicle. So yeah, there's 5 things that needs to be standard, and I'm going to talk about them in this video. So I've been watching out of spec reviews and following them on Twitter, and they've made videos about this, and also they've been tweeting about this. And I feel like there's 5 features that every single EV should have. Every single vehicle that's going to come out going forward should have these features standard. And yeah, so I'm going to talk about 5 features that I believe should be standard on every single electric vehicle. Before I go into them, it's all features that Tesla already has. Some other automakers have maybe most of them, some have almost barely any of them, but Tesla has all of these features. That's why Tesla is really on top of the EV game, because they make sure that all these features are standard, not just in one of their top trims. All features are standard regardless of which car you buy from them. So I feel like every other automaker should follow suit and make sure that their cars have these features standard. So first one I want to talk about is battery preconditioning. So the reason why I think that battery preconditioning is very important is because people have a misconception when it comes to EV charging. All right, so as you know, battery preconditioning heats or cools down the battery to make sure that it's able to charge as fast as possible when you're at a fast charger. But the thing is, there's a big misconception when it comes to charging an EV. Most people think that charging an EV takes hours, takes minutes, and takes too long for you to actually use it on a day-to-day basis. But with battery preconditioning, regardless if it's cold outside, if it's warm outside, the battery will be able to charge as fast as it can. So you can have the fastest and shortest charging stop that you can. It's very good for the battery because the battery likes to sit at a specific temperature, especially when it's getting charged. If the battery is very, very cold and you're trying to dump a bunch of current inside the battery, then it's going to make it too hard on the battery and put too much stress on the battery, which can degrade the battery very fast. So with battery preconditioning, not only are you making sure that your fast charging times are fast, but you're also making sure that you're not putting too much stress on the battery and that the battery is well managed. So that's why battery preconditioning is at the top of the list of the top 5 features that every single EV should have. The ID4 is one of the EVs that don't have battery preconditioning. Ioniq 5 had battery preconditioning added as an update, but I think that it should have been there from the beginning. But regardless, all EVs should have battery preconditioning. So staying on the topic of charging, the second biggest feature that I feel like all EVs should have is route planning. So route planning allows you to actually put a destination inside the car, and the car will automatically know when you have to stop in order to charge to get to that destination. So we can go in the car and show you guys an example of what I'm talking about. But this is a standard feature with all Teslas, and it's been there for a very long time. So for example, if I want to go to, let's see here, I want to go to Atlanta. So put Atlanta here. Atlanta, Georgia. Put Atlanta, Georgia here. It's very, very far road trip, but the car will automatically tell you where you're going to have to stop in order to get a charge. So it tells you every stop, tells you how long you have to stay there and how many percentage you're going to get there. So it's calculating every stop, and you know exactly what time you're going to get there with. So this is why battery preconditioning and route planning is very important, because on our way there, the car is going to start heating up or cooling down the battery depending on the temperature, and it's going to tell you exactly what time you're going to get there with and how long you're going to stay there to charge. So this is very important for road trips, not necessarily important for city driving, but on road trips, this is a lifesaver and it's really needed in cars. So we're still sticking on the charging topic because I mean, it's electric vehicle, so you're gonna have to charge it. But another feature, so this is number 3, another feature is plug and charge. So plug and charge allows you to just go to a fast charger and just plug it in, and automatically charges the car and charges your credit card based off of the information you put into your account with the car company or the charging company. Tesla has everything integrated in their app, so you can put in your card information, and your VIN number is already assigned in the app, so it knows when you're plugging in the car, it reads the VIN, it knows your card information, so it's going to charge your card without you having to pull out a card and paying at the charger. So this is very, very nice, because in the winter, you don't want to have to be taking out cards using machines that don't work. So this is something that you really want to make sure your car has. And that's why Tesla Supercharger Network is the best one, because all Teslas can just go there, plug it in and leave, not having to worry about it not working or working. It just charges your card automatically, so you're good. So that's why every car you get needs to have plug and charge, so like that it can make the charging experience very, very nice and seamless. All right, so for this feature, it's not necessarily a must for everyone, but for me, I feel like it is a must because electric vehicles are different. So one pedal driving is a feature that I feel like every single EV should actually have, because it's just better for the driving experience. With one pedal driving, you don't need to use the brakes when you're going to stop, especially if you're driving around the city, because when you're driving around the city, you're driving slowly, and just taking your foot off of the power pedal has enough force to actually stop the car from moving. So I'll show you guys exactly what I mean by this. All right, so the car is currently in drive, and as you can see, I have the power pedal and the brake pedal over here. If I put my foot on the power pedal, you can see that we're moving, but once I take it off, the car automatically stops without having to put my foot on the brake. So that's one feature that I feel like should be on every EV, because it saves you by using the brakes. You don't have to use the brakes too much, and you can keep the same brakes for a very, very long time, because if you're doing mostly city driving, you're not going to use your brakes most of the time. All right, and another thing with one pedal driving is that when you're using one pedal driving, you get that regen boost. So for example, if I go on drive and then I take off the foot, you'll see a green bar. That green bar is putting energy back in the battery and bringing your battery back up. So that most EVs, I should say, do have one pedal driving, but it's the fake one pedal driving. And let me explain. So what they do is that, yes, once you take your foot off of the power, it does slow down, but it never stops. So you'll slow down to like 5 miles an hour, 5 or 3 miles an hour, but if it never stops and it only slows down, it's not really one pedal driving, in my opinion. And I feel like it should actually put you to a complete stop. And once you're stopped, you can put your foot on the brake if you want to, but the way Tesla does it, it blends in real brakes with the fictional brakes. So like that, it'll put you to complete stop, and it holds the brakes as well as a backup. So I feel like one pedal driving should be on all EVs for the regen, and also for the fact that you don't need to use your brake pedal as much. So this should be a standard feature with all EVs. All right, so the final top 5 feature that I want to talk about that all EVs should have, this as well might be controversial for some, but for me, I feel like it should be a standard feature, and that is over-the-air updates. I know it's not specific to EVs, but EVs can use over-the-air updates a lot more than regular cars, because EVs can actually change things with the drivetrain, the performance, the range, off of over-the-air updates alone. And I feel like this car that I've got for over a year now has changed so much off of software updates that I didn't have to move anywhere to do. I could have done it off of Wi-Fi, off of my phone hotspot, and all that. All these new features that I got with the car were able to be done through Wi-Fi that's already inside the car. So I feel like over-the-air updates changes the value of the car a lot, and the fact that a 2012 Tesla Model S can still have all the new features that the new Tesla Model 3, Model Y, Model X's, and new Model S's has is actually pretty amazing. So I feel like over-the-air updates not only keeps the value of your car, but it also makes the car better than what it was on release. So those are the 5 features that I think that every single EV should have, and I think they should be standard going forward. So 2024 or even 2025, when everyone changes the car to NACS, I feel like all these features should really be standard, because if you want to compete with Teslas, having the supercharger network is not enough. So I feel like every single car should have these features if they really want to compete with Teslas. And just to be a better overall EV community, I think that every single EV should have these. Let me know what you think other cars should have, or what you think EV should have going forward. Leave it down in the comments. I'll reply to them. I read every comment, and yeah, let me know if something Tesla should add to their cars. If something is missing about Teslas, I know they're missing the radar, they're missing some standard features to save on cost, but I'm talking really EV basic standard features. But yeah, let me know what other features should be standard. Leave it in the comments and I'll reply to them. Thank you for watching. Peace.